All right. Hello, hello, good people. Welcome to Pathbender. Um, okay, everybody's camera's on, so I don't have to say anything. But glad to have each and every one of you on the call. We're excited as always. Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. has said that he will not be on any of the calls until Rhino Leg is launched. And so we have a pinch hitter, okay? For the baseball people, we got a pinch hitter, all right, who will be standing in. And she said this morning, I'm a student, so the teaching y'all is gonna be woo. That was her words, not mine. Okay, so I'm excited to hear what she has for us. Everyone, we are, as always, I don't have to tell you all this, and just continue to have an open mind and be receptive and get what you came here to get. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss D. Marie.
All right, so let me get readjusted real quick. Second. There we go. All right. Okay, so today we've been Antonio's been talking about ancestry and how it all connects and the origins of us as people, as beings on this planet. So today I'm going to talk to you about sacred work as medicine. But first, I want to hear from everybody. What do you think sacred work is?
Doing what you would call to do, or doing what you think is your calling in life.
Okay. All right.
I would say, go ahead.
I'll go.
Okay. I would say more personal, deep personal work that you do on and for yourself.
All right.
I would say realizing that we are all one and using love as a way to reinforce that.
All right. These are all wonderful. Anyone else?
Yeah, whatever it is that you are doing, whether it's teaching or writing blogs like Queen Renee does, or ruling the world and get this money like Melissa does. Melissa does so much. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you're passionate about, or even if it's going to funerals and comforting the grieving like Adrian does. When you are that work, when you are passionate about that, that's your sacred work. The way I have it in my head, my pastor, he always says, I don't care what you're doing, it should always be to the glory of God. You could be washing dishes, so it should be done to the glory of God. So that's what I think of, So that's what I think of when I think sacred work.
All right. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Mr. Otis. Thank you, Mr. Phil. Thank you, Jamal. Who else? Who else would like to tell us what they think sacred work is?
I think it's something from, when you think about sacred, you think about sacred teachings, of shamans, monks, religious leaders, things of the past, sacred text. So, when I hear the word sacred, I think about sacred teachings, that have been passed down, to learn, sort of like the Bible, sacred word. So, especially with the word sacred, that's how I tend to think about it. If I could say that.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Anyone else?
I'll say one. Excuse me. I think a lot of times people work until someone puts a meaning into it. So yeah, when I'm serving someone, that's sacred if I believe that it's sacred. So I believe it's a mindset. It's not just something small, it's a big thing to you because you're either helping yourself or helping somebody else that's sacred, because you're putting more meaning into it than just blah stuff. If that's a word, but I'll just, yeah. You put more meaning into it, what you're doing either for yourself or what you're doing for other people. So it's how you view it. Some things aren't sacred to others, but it's sacred to you because that's why you hold it a little bit more dear to your heart, what you're doing.
All right. Anyone else before I move on?
I'll say, I think it's really how you show up, like how you do what you do. If you, like Grace said something that's funny because people don't look at funerals like that's sacred, but it is, because it's actually the place that we all have to go to, and everyone has to go to the funeral. And like my job in it is to make you okay with that and to leave out of there feeling like everything is okay afterwards. And the act of doing it is sacred, because if we come in like, oh, it's another body, like it, I do. Listen, when y'all don't see me, I'm at the funeral. So them days, like for many a days that I don't be at here, I be at funerals. So we have a funeral like 3 days out of the week. But I always have to remind the people, it's the first funeral for this family. So we can't come in on Wednesday, like we've been here since Monday, so we have to be safe. Like it's the way you show up, it's the things that you do, is how you do, why you do. Like, even if I'm tired, I'm still gonna do it. And you're not gonna know the difference because this is sacred to me. I can do it in my sleep, but it's not like a routine. But it's how I show up. It's the meaning of why I do this. And then you should feel this, the sacredness in it. It should be genuine. You should be like, oh, that lady just spoke to me. But wow, like she really spoke to me. And that's what I think sacred to me is, like, because like I said, I learned a long time ago that only what you do for Christ will last. That thing hurt my heart because I realized all the things that I didn't do, like, that didn't matter. And I just stopped doing all of those things. And now I realize that everything, like, I kind of try to do is sacred, because I like to show up in the same place, the same way for everybody, no matter what. And I consider that to be sacred.
Wow, all of y'all gave some amazing answers. Amazing. There is a long history of various ancestral cultures, particularly, I can never say that word fast, particularly in Africa, that view work as sacred and deeply connected to a higher power or a deity. And each of you in some shape, form, or fashion referenced higher power or a deity, whether it's we are all one, that's a higher power. How you approach it, what you feel about it, how you go at it, it's connected to a higher power or a deity. And long ago, in many parts of Africa, people believed that work was very special. Work was very special. They thought that when they were working, they were actually communicating with this higher power or this deity. And in doing that, they treated their work with a lot of respect and they considered it sacred. Adrienne considers what she does sacred. It's important and it's meaningful to her. Because in her feeling how she feels about her work, that's also connecting her with a higher power, because she doesn't do it for herself. She does it for everyone. Those in our history, they believe that their work had a purpose and it helped them connect to the spiritual world. It was a way for them to show their appreciation and honor the gifts and abilities they had been given. So when it comes to sacred work, I think it was Renee that said it's a mindset. How you feel, how you think about what you're doing is what makes it sacred. If you're doing it because you understand that everyone is connected, everyone is one, it's sacred. Now, I took the liberty of getting 4 different beliefs to give you an example of this because, again, Pathbender, I am a student. So I wanted to give you, for me, okay, give me some references. Go ahead, Deanna, give me some references because I need you to let me know. If you saying this is all, connect the dots for me. I need you to connect them going forward, not backwards. So work with me. Okay, so Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and witchcraft. Those are the 4 that I pulled from. And I'm going to show you just how spiritual sacred work is. Because it's about the work you put in, but it's also about your mindset with the work that you do. In Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. How you approach your work is how it's going to be. If you approach it and you work as if it's sacred, like, okay, God, you told me to peel these potatoes. So as I take the skin off, I'm doing this for you. This is sacred work to me, okay? Let's get this understanding because this potato salad gonna be the bomb when I finish, but you told me
that's it.
to peel these potatoes. And let me tell y'all something. Y'all know how grandmother's cooking tastes different from everybody else's.
It does. It does.
That's because cooking was sacred work to her. And you felt it in every bite you took. I still can't find nobody to match my grandmother's fried chicken because that was sacred work to her. She had the kind of fried chicken you could eat cold. And you can't eat all fried chicken cold. Let me tell you something. That was sacred work to her. Her scrambled egg sandwiches, I still can't match. And it's just a scrambled egg, but it's how she scrambled her egg.
I could never get it like grandma did. I was like, how do you do that, grandma? What you?
It be all fluffy.
Yeah.
But then the yellow is different. It's like, but it was sacred work to her because of the love that she put into it to prepare it for her family. Us grandkids were spoiled. Let me tell you something.
That's it.
Because her chocolate milk was the best chocolate milk ever. But whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Genesis 2:15 says, the Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it. That was his sacred work, the garden. Proverbs 10:14 says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Now, that's the Christianity stance on sacred work. Let's look at the Islamic stance. Quran 16:8, and he created the horses, mules, and donkeys for you to ride and as adornment. And he creates that which you do not know. Sacred work. The Quran 9, verse 105 say, work for Allah will see your deeds, and so will his messenger and the believers. See, when it's sacred to you, what you do unseen is still seen. It's sacred to you. The messengers will see it. The believers will see it. God will see it if it's sacred to you. That means Y'all know how Antonio always talk to us. He always talks to us about working in excellence.
Yep.
I'm sorry, y'all. Antonio text me. Got distracted.
Okay. Speaking of student, Tracy looked like she on a field trip on a school bus. Okay.
I know, right? I know, right?
I am. I'm heading back from Galveston. That stood upon. I'm on the
All right
bus,
now.
but I'm
Wait a
on the
minute.
call.
First of all, you was in Galveston and ain't calling nobody. That's all right.
She's with them kids, Grace.
I
That's
know, I
look, that's
understand.
a sacred work for right now.
Okay. Okay.
Them kids is a sacred work. Because Lord knows she have to be blessed
Listen,
to teach some kids. Let me
listen.
tell
I
you
have taken kids to Slitterbond. Okay.
Can you imagine y'all 12 kids that you're responsible for at an amusement park?
12. 12.
That's just her class. I don't know.
Your
If that's
numbers,
that
your,
many.
your number is low. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I forgot they added extra people to
We
y'all
had
class.
over 500 band, choir, cheer, dance, LOC, like all the fine art.
Y'all
Yeah.
had Slitterbond to yourselves.
Nope.
What? God bless.
Sacred work.
Sacred work.
Because those kids are gonna remember Miss Tracy before they remember whatever they were going through. Sacred work. Now that, and then you have the Quran, chapter 16, verse 97. Whoever works righteousness, whether male or female, while being a believer, we will surely cause him to live a good life, and we will surely give them their reward in the hereafter, according to the best of what they used to do. And then you have Judaism from the Torah. But this one lets you know the importance of resting in your sacred work. These three, if you listen to them, their theme is don't be a slave to work. Work is not sacred if you don't rest. Even God rested after doing sacred work. 6 days of creation, rested on the 7th. Work can't be sacred without rest. It's a manipulation without rest. And you can't manipulate God into blessing you.
Watch it.
Ooh, that's good.
I had a little help. I had a little help with that one, trust me. Because y'all, I was reading and I'm like, wait a minute. But let me start off. So you have Leviticus 23:3 out of the Torah. 6 days shall work be done, but not on the 7th day. Is a Sabbath day of solemn rest, a holy convocation. You shall do no work. It is a Sabbath to the Lord in all your dwelling places. Even in the spiritual realm, you're supposed to rest. Psalms 127, verse 2, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he gives his beloved sheep. Don't wake up early and go to bed late and stress yourself out. You're supposed to rest. I can never say this one right. Deuteronomy, thank you. Chapter 5, verse 15. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God brought you out from there with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm. Therefore, the Lord your God commanded you to keep the Sabbath day. Even God was like, look, you need a day of rest. Don't be a slave to your work. Sacred work has gone throughout several different types of religious traditions and spirituality. When it comes to witches, like individuals in any spiritual or religious tradition can have diverse beliefs and practices. Within witchcraft and pagan traditions, there is often an emphasis on the interconnectedness of the spiritual and material realms. Try saying that 7 times back to back. Many witches see their daily work and actions as an expression of their spirituality and a way to connect with the divine or the natural world. Some witches may view work as a sacred act of creation and manifestation. They believe that through their efforts, intentions, and energy, they can bring about a positive change in their lives and the world around them. For them, work can be seen as a form of magic where their actions align with their spiritual beliefs and goals. Faith without works is dead. You see, you got to do the work, but there's sacredness in the work that you do. Your sacredness connects you. You can tell when you're doing sacred work and when you just work it. There's a certain feeling that aligns with that. There's a certain, you don't get weary because it's sacred to you. It's something that you don't mind doing every day, no matter how long it takes. Sacred work takes place in so many different places, it's not even funny. So I'm going to open it up to everyone. And I'm going to present you with a question. What is sacred to you? Where do you put your work?
I got a question.
Go for it.
So how do you find that sacred work? Because you get caught up, doing a lot of work just for work's sake, you know what I mean? And even if you do get out of that, doing work like that, is that new work doing, is that sacred? Like how do you define that? Like,
that is a wonderful question. I'm going to answer this question as if I'm asking this question. I would think that sacred work would be what you're passionate about, the work that you do towards things that you're passionate about. Mr. Phil and Miss Susan they're passionate about helping people enjoy work, helping them balance the difference between work and home, but do it with your 7th sense, which is your humor. Your humor is a mindset, and they're very passionate about what they do when they're talking to people, when they're teaching people. I forgot the proper name for it, but Mr. Sorrentino has a bear. And that bear helps you. If you need a hug, you can hug the bear. But if you feel like ripping somebody's head off, you rip the head off the bear. But in order for him to even have come up with that concept, there had to be some sacred work put in. He had to be connected to that. That had to be passionate to him. Because who else would think of dismemberment? Dismemberment?
Disbearment.
Oh, it is.
He's a disbearment.
He's a disbearment. But there had to be sacred work that went into that, because when you consider work sacred, your natural abilities flow through it. We know that Mr. Phil is creative, and Miss Susan she's the strategic thinker. But if Mr. Phil if that wasn't sacred work to him, his creativity wouldn't have flown, and that bear would never exist. So it's something that you're passionate about. Let me answer that question in relationships. When you want a relationship to work, that work becomes sacred to you. You put in the effort, you put in the work, you put in the energy because it's sacred to you. Your relationship is of God. You know deep down inside of you, we're supposed to be together. So any work that you do to make that relationship work, that's sacred work. So Jamali, it like Renee said earlier, depends on your thought process, your mindset when it comes to that particular work you're doing. If you're on a job and you're just going to a job just to work, that's not sacred. But if you're in a position at this job that every day you wake up, you never hit the buzzer on your alarm so you can sleep an extra 15 minutes, you can stub your toe, but the thought of going to work is like, oh, I'll just limp. It'll be okay. Just take some Tylenol and the pain will go away.
So we can sort of say sacred is of great meaning.
There you go. Think about every relationship you've ever had in your life. Every single one. Think about the ones that you wanted to last, and think about the ones that you was like, it's time for you to go. Now think about the difference in the work you put into those relationships. That one that you wanted to stay, you put in a lot of work. So much so it became sacred to you. This relationship is so sacred to you that you are willing to put in the work, to go the extra mile, to do the extra work. When it comes to any family member, your mother, your father, brother, sister, think about the work you put towards that relationship. If you care nothing about that relationship, you be like, hey, he grown, he'll be all right. She grown, she know what she doing. I ain't gonna bother with her. But if you put in that work, like, okay, look, Grace, you my sister. I love you. It's time for intervention. You going out too much. You drinking too much. You ain't even going to work no more. Let's go to rehab together. I don't need it, but I'll go with you, okay? You call her. I'm calling Grace every day. Hey, I'm just checking on you. You good? You all right? Breathe. Pat yourself on the back. You did good today.
So I think what you're trying to say is that just because it's sacred work doesn't mean it has to be lifetime work. Just at the work at the particular time, and if it's sacred, so be it. You know, it doesn't have to be a lifetime thing. Like I spent 60 years in a convent and nothing like that, right?
If you're in a marriage, that's lifetime work. If that's a relationship that you deem sacred, then that work will be sacred. But if you're doing a part-time project, that work that you do, if it's something you love, you make it sacred and you put forth your best ability towards it. I hope that answered the question, Jamal.
So what you're saying is all my exes were part-time projects. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Jamal, you silly. Because I was about you're the construction guy, right? Like you build stuff, like you're an electrician. So what's sacred to you, your sacredness in you, like in what you do is you build stuff, right? You don't half-ass build stuff when people like they call you for the job. You know, you take pride in that job because you know whatever you building, you you making this new room or new wall. You take pride in the taping spackle of the wall because you know that it's gonna be straight. You know what I mean? Like you know that when you leave that building, it's better than it was when you left. That's because what you do, you do it. It's your sacred work. That's what you do. Like you're helping someone else it's like bigger than you. It's outside of you. It's come from you, but it's how you leave the people. You know, because that's what you do. You like a fixer. You're the builder. So think when the people call you, they're messed up or the plumbing is messed up and stuff, and you come and you fix it. However, whichever way you did it, it was sacred because one, you didn't have to do it. And two, I know they're completely appreciative, especially like if you're fixing like the plumbing or, like stuff that's messed up. But you take pride in that work. I think that's.
I'm with that. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah, But no, you ain't got to be in no convent for 60 years. That ain't sacred. That's a bunch of bull. You done did that because that's the only thing you can do, because it's the only thing you know how to do. You've been doing that shit for 60 years.
Well,
You
it's
ain't
easy.
doing nothing
You
different.
got the same clothes on every day. How hard is that?
That's what I'm saying. You ain't got to do nothing. You just, I mean, after a while, that's like, okay, it's better this way. I don't have to meet new people. You know what I mean? Like I could just stay in my little room. And so how sacred is that really? Now, are they, out there communing with people and doing different stuff? I mean, like like I said, the funerals to me are sacred. Going to different places. Like I was in the hairdresser today and somebody came in to speak to the hairdresser. But I met this young man like 2 summers ago. He was doing something with Black Children Eat. And I remembered him. He lost his vision, but he says, I remember your voice. So whatever we were doing years ago in that moment, it was sacred, because even still to this day, when he walked in and I knew who he was, he knew who I was. And it was like, wow. And then the world just got smaller because I had been to my hairdresser's aunt's house, because that was his mother. That was her cousin. And he was just coming in there to say something to her, but I just happened to be there. And we had that whole moment. And the last time he had his graduating class before he lost his sight and stuff, I was actually at that graduation for those children. So the moment that we had in there, that's like the sacredity of what I do and why I do the way I do, so that no matter where you are, no matter when you see me, it happened just like that. That's why everything that I do is like sacred, like, because I won't talk to you if it ain't meaningful.
I got
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I'm not doing a whole lot of conversation with you if it ain't sacred. I'm only gonna talk to you for a little bit. If I'm not there with, I'm like, okay, all right, have a good one. But it's about the fit.
Thank thank you, Adrian. And no,
Okay.
not all of them may have been part-time projects. I don't know. I haven't met. I'm not sure. But there's something that Adrian said that I want us to tap into. She said, after 2 years, he said, I remember your voice. Sacred work is memorable.
Watch yourself.
Sacred work is memorable because when it's sacred, it's not just you doing it for you. It's you doing it because you know, if I do this work, the universe is going to be excited about this. God, Allah, the whatever deity or spiritual belief that you have is going to, I'm going to feel more connected because I understand that it's bigger than me.
So when 25-year-old grown folk come up to you smiling, hey, Miss Sandals, I guess that's what you're talking about right there. Right there.
Yes, Grace. Oh, 25. I'm knocking on that with you. I'm knocking on that with you, Grace. It's kids that I have babysat that I did jury duty with. I'm just saying. But at the time when I was with those kids, that was sacred work for me. It's something I enjoyed doing. Because I got to play all day. I had to be with kids and play all day. Like, yay. Till this day, a couple of them can come up to me and repeat the ABC song that I taught them because I was trying to teach them their ABCs. I was trying to teach them their ABCs. And they were like in the second, like first, I think like kindergarten or something like that. I can't remember. But I used to walk down the halls of the school that I worked at. Yeah, I used to work at a private school. Yeah. Wow, I've done a lot. That's how I know teachers are very special people.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I spent 2 years at a private school they call them readiness 1 and 2. but they're right before you get to pre-K. I had those kids, the ones that went potty trained yet, nothing like that. But the teacher, one of the teachers didn't show up. And the principal knew me, and she was like, hey, I need you to teach a class today. I'm like, whoa, time out. So she say, just teach them this, just teach them that. And I had to come up with something. But because those kids were sacred to me, I enjoyed the work and they remembered. Anything you do that is sacred and you do it in that manner with that mindset, it's memorable. I remember walking down the hallways of my old elementary school one time, and one of the kids went, eyes that look like heaven, because my class performed Elvira on stage my last year there. And the kids who were still there after I left remembered that. But I loved performing. Performing was sacred to me. Plays, performing songs on stage, that was sacred to me. It's something I love. So every time I approached it with all of me. And because I approached it with all of me, it was memorable. And they remembered me.
I gotta say,
Go
you
ahead.
just something that I consider to be completely sacred is the being on stage. You're right. There's something
Yep.
about
Me too.
it, because it's like, one, you have to commit to the script. And then once you've got the script, then it's about the spirits just taking over and doing whatever the spirits do, because everybody in the theater is going to be touched by a particular something in a particular way for whoever it is. So that is very sacred work, being on stage, I must say. Now that I think about it, singing is one thing and that's praising God, but to embrace a character and put that character on stage, that is complete sacred work, like acting, committing to something that is not of you again. So I guess I guess sacred really is something that's not you, through you, but above you and bigger than you, because theater is the same way. So yeah, there it is again. But definitely, 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 definitely. Theater, all of that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
agree
go
with
ahead.
that. 'Cause with theater, you have to make it you. You have to become the actor, or you have to become that person in order to make it real. So in order to become that person, you have to embrace it, and it has to become a reality for you so everybody else can see it through you. So yeah.
And now when I was on stage, I wasn't acting, but I was stepping. And then when I went from stepping in college to teaching kids how to step, when I was on the stage, yeah, it was sacred for me then. And then teaching kids to step, it was really sacred, because I'm like, hey, we can have fun. I need you to learn this right now. Get stuff down and then put yourself all into it and play. But yeah, that I get what y'all saying. Being on stage, that is sacred.
It's
That's fun.
it's all of you, because you know that when you give this thing your all, when you put in the work to this and you give it all of you, we don't give anything all of us if it's not sacred to us. If there's a thought in our mind that this is temporary, it's not sacred to us. You can look at the relationships people have, and you can know what relationship is sacred and what relationship they could give two flying flips about. Think about it. When you have, I'm going to say this because it's true. You have people who can't have children, but they have pets, but those are not their pets. Those are sacred relationships that they have with those animals because they're putting work into those animals. Those animals they have clothes. They have a certain diet. They have play dates. They go out. Or they're so well taken care of when you walk in their house, you can't tell they have an animal.
They have insurance.
They have insurance.
Listen,
My granddog has insurance.
come on, grand dog.
Well, let me tell
It's
you,
ridiculous.
because they're no longer just animals. They are sacred relationships that those people have put work into because they knew they had so much of themselves to give that being is the one that they chose to use that sacred work with.
Deanna,
Yes, sir.
I just want to mention that me and my wife, we don't have no kids, so I can relate to that. The first dog who lived 21 years, I made the mistake after he died of saying, he's just a dog. But listen to me, I'm following my sword. Don't do the pointing finger. Because at that moment, he was just a dog. We've had another one since then. He lived 14 years. Okay? And you better believe, you me, that those type of thoughts wasn't nowhere in that house, in that atmosphere, none of that. Because I remember from the first one, when I said he's just a dog.
You ain't make that mistake no more. You ain't do that again.
I just wanted to share that with folks. I can relate to what Deanna's saying. He's just a dog. You can see I ain't forgot it. And she made sure,
right?
and she made sure I didn't.
And that's real. Like before I ever had a kid, I had a dog. And when I tell you that dog was sacred work to me, I could have a conversation with that dog and people would look at me like, does he understand what you're saying? I was like, yeah, he understands perfectly well. I owned a pit bull. Pit bulls have a reputation. But I walked a neighborhood known for fighting dogs with my dog not on a leash. Because if I made the comment, not command, but comment to my dog, hey, you too far ahead of me, he would stop. He would look back at me. And when I got to a certain spot, he started walking again. That's because I put in sacred work. We had a relationship that went beyond the standard boundaries. He was my kid. He got sick. We was at the hospital. His veterinarian name was Dr. King, and she was a graduate of Tuskegee University out of Alabama. Don't play with me. And he had insurance.
That's funny because I say my granddog, but it's like he's my dog. And my son came home. Well, he's here now. He was like, you treat that dog better than you treat me. It's like, that's my baby. Like, you're not here. You're visiting right now. He lives here.
It's relationship. So imagine if sacred work is memorable.
Speaking of sacred work, Deanna.
Yes, sir.
She had that dog say his grace before he ate his food. And he put his head down. And when she said, in Jesus' name, amen, he ate. I'm telling you right now. That's sacred work right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And now you have dogs that they have the little buttons now, so your dog can actually talk to you. Like, no, eat, outside. Like they push the button and they tell you what they want. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. I love the dog TikTok videos. I'm sorry. But I'm gonna ask you guys a question. And I want you to think. I want you to really, really think. Are you sacred enough to yourself to put in sacred work on yourself?
You meddling, watch it. Okay.
Because we've sat here, we talked about what sacred work looks like, what it may feel like. It's memorable. Have you applied that same stuff to you? Are you sacred to yourself?
Yes. In light of
Come on.
in light of everything that has happened in the past 60 days, I remember I got up when I came back from my son's death, and I went up to Rockford, and you know, we lived in Rockford for years. I still got a huge storage up there with a bunch of stuff in it. And I went and I opened up the door and I just stood there and I just looked and I just thought to myself, I said, you know, I'm thinking about my niece and my nephew. I said, I wonder if I passed away right now, what would any of this stuff mean? And so I called them up. And, you know, all the tools, because I was a mechanic before and I got brand new tools and stuff that I don't use anymore because I don't own trucks anymore. And my nephew's like, oh, no, don't be getting rid of selling no tools and stuff. I'm like, okay, so I see how sacred I am to you that in that respect. And I called my niece and I said, hey, what would you do, you know, if anything happened to me? This and that? Uncle Johnny, get rid of that stuff. I ain't gonna be putting up with that, you know. No, you know, you better do something with it now. Ain't nobody, you're an organized hoarder. I don't want to be dealing with that. Okay, that let me know how sacred I was to her. You know? So afterwards, everything started taking on a whole new meaning to me. And you know, Miss Deanna, I shared with you, we're happy with my cousin and stuff in the house. And what I didn't tell you was the same niece I talked to 2 weeks after that had a complete breakdown and had to be put in an institution. She's out now and she's doing all right. And these things, and these are all young folks. So I'm turning 60 next month, and it made me think about what you're talking about. And I've been in a, I don't want to say funk, but I've been in really deep, deep, deep spiritual thinking about my sacredness here on this earth, what it all means. What is it that you really want to do, John? What is it that you really want to put out into the world? You know, and this is all that's been on my mind. It's like everything that mattered to me before, as far as materialism and stuff, doesn't anymore. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. When I leave here, all the stuff that I may have, my niece and nephew show me it doesn't matter. They're gonna get rid of it anyway. What are you holding on to it for? You know, so yeah, I've been in a whole lot of every single day I wake up as I'm driving, when I come home. My auntie, I'm gonna tell you, I come home every day, I come straight here in my room and I close the door. I haven't hardly talked to anybody for 60 days because I've been so busy thinking about what you're talking about, the true meaning of what am I here on this earth for? You know, and I pray to God. I think about Mr. Sorrentino a lot in that because, you know, I think about him because my desire to work with him to bring the best out of me and what I want to do. You know, I think about that a lot. That means a lot to me. And it's like, I think about the sacredness every day, the work, putting in the work to that which really matters. You know, it's tough because I look at what's going on out here in the world, and sometimes my own energy, my own enthusiasm and positivity, it wanes. You know, but I fight through it. You know, to keep it. I went to church Sunday. It's the first time in a long time, but I went to church, and the pastor, um, I gave him my word that I would be there, you know, and he's like, almost 90, and he was so proud, when he saw me, he was like, I knew you was a man of your word. He said, I knew it. So I stepped in, and they did a sermon called Refresh. And when he did that sermon, it was talking to me. Refresh, seeing things in life with new eyes and new spirit, a new soul, new everything, letting go of the old, not worrying about the past, not worrying about my immortality, because death is coming to all of us. It's not like, it's just a few here, this and that. And I don't know if anybody hasn't been paying any attention, but baby boomers, we're leaving man, with haste. Baby boomers are passing left and right. And I'm like, families are getting hit left and right, 2 and 3 people like we did, just gone. And you're like, whoa, what is this? I wake up each and every day. I have absolutely positively no fear of death. None. Been there before, tried it, came back. Good Lord saw fit for me to come back. I'm not afraid at all. Sometimes I actually get up and I be like, Lord, do you really want me to get to 80? I'm really not for sure if I want to get there. Although I got 20 minutes to get there, but sometimes I think that way. Sometimes I feel that way. Sometimes I do sit down and think, what is it there for me to still continue to be here in this world for? And sometimes I sit down and I think about Mr. Sorrentino. Mr. Sorrentino doesn't realize how much of an influence he has on me. You'll hear me talk about him all the time. I mention him all the time. It's because I think about him all the time, and things that he said to me, he don't even realize I continue to think about. He says I give him too much credit, but it's because I admire him so much. So yes, I work on my sacredness all the time, and it's been even deeper since the things that have happened, to some of my loved ones. I'm really, really working hard on it. And I had to take a break because I collapsed in one of the trailers in the truck because everything had got to me, and I was in the back of a trailer doing some cleaning, and nobody was out there. It was just me, and nobody knew I had collapsed back there. And all I could do was cry out to God and say, God, please help me, And so that made me think deeper into more what you're talking about. So every day I'm working on that. Everything that you're talking, that sacredness, I'm trying to figure it all out. It's like, at 60, I'm feeling like, why didn't I know this at 30? But it is something I hear all the time. They say wisdom is not something normally associated with the young. So I know those years, I was learning how to get to this point, but sometimes I still feel like I wish I had known some of this then. But as I learn it now and I know it now, I could feel the greatness inside of me swells up. I could feel, when I go to work and people like it was a 28-year-old kid the other day. I was walking through the yard and he looked at me. He said, man, I hope when I get 60 years old, I got that swag like you. I didn't even know how to take that, and then I was like, I turned around and looked at it and I said, hey man, I worked a lifetime on it. You'll get it. But a 28-year-old saying, hey, I wish when I get your age, I got that swag like you. So that made me feel that sacred work, is worth it all, So I hope that I made sense with that.
Well, you did.
Okay.
You did. You did. To God, to Allah, to your deity of choice, to your spiritual practice, understand that the universe, to the universe, you're the universe's sacred work. You're God's sacred work. He put so much work into you, it was sacred to him. His creation, his children. Do you feel that way about yourself? Do you consider yourself sacred work? Do you care for yourself? Do you put work into yourself as though you matter?
I do now, more so than I ever have. Like I said, things have a way of making you think that way. That comment I made to Miss Grace earlier, you know, that hey, Life Luger, you know, Les Luger was Superman's nemesis. So I call it Life Luger. Threw that kryptonite on me, and I had to step back, you know, because I was weak. But your words, what you're just saying, I'm struggling with a little bit of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, but yes, I believe that deep in my core, and I'm struggling, you know, to maintain that, you know, to keep it present in the forefront of things, you know, because you know your mind can play some crazy tricks on you,
Oh, yeah.
especially when you're trying to be strong through so many things. Your mind can really play with you. So yes, everything you just said, you know, I am, you know, the struggle is keeping it in the forefront. That's the struggle. I believe it wholeheartedly, but I don't wake up every single day and it's right there in my face. You know, but I work hard on it. I'm not gonna lie about that. I work hard on it.
Well, it's noticeable when you have a young the young man, the 28-year-old saying, when I get your age, I hope I have swag like you. Remember, sacred work is memorable. So whatever you're doing, people see and it's memorable to them. I'm sure that's not the first time he saw you. And even if it was the first time he saw you, that sacred work that you put into yourself, it shone so brightly where he couldn't not see it.
You know, it's you know, and he sees me, you know, every, what is it, like tomorrow's Friday, every Friday and Saturday, you know, he sees me because I trained him for the job that he has. And you know, and he always, every time I see him, he always saying something in reference to me. And his sister, who I train, who works there, says the same thing. And it's it's a blessing. And because everybody knows how I carry myself, um, I tell them, I say, hey, I don't wake up in the morning feeling like $1,000,000 every morning. I said, but I don't know what it is, Miss Deanna, but as soon as I get dressed and open that front door and step out, it's lights, camera, action. And everywhere I go, everybody tells me, hey, man, every time we see you, always bring the light, the energy, you always smiling, you make everybody smile. And it's like, it's what I do. You know, it means everything to me. You know, you have no idea the energy, the smile, what they do for me. When I see somebody, you know, with the frown and everything, and I come in, you know, and sometimes I'll walk in, hello, darling, I'm home. You know, I'll do stuff like that, you know, and you know, it's like lights, camera, action. When I walk out that front end, when I'm in the house, I'm like, you know, and I'm struggling. But as soon as I walk out that door, it's lights, camera, action. Hey, world, what's happening? Y'all better watch out now. I'm here, you know, and I get out, and everywhere I go, I make sure I make somebody smile, somebody laugh, somebody jump from joy everywhere I go until I come back home. And then I have to work hard to keep all of that built up for me into the forefront. Because if I don't, I slip into an abyss, man, that's I don't want to go back to. I've already been in a mental asylum, you know, before, you know, and it's tough. But you know, I look forward to each day when I wake up, man. I get up, I get dressed, you know, I put on the mother trucker shirts and the hats and things. And when I hit that door, you know, it's lights, camera, action. So that's my sacred work to me. That's my sacred work. That's what makes me happy. That's what brings me joy. I love to see the smiles on people's faces and this, and that. They got cameras all around where I work at. And every day I step out and I do a dance and I throw up 2-piece signs to every camera around the building. I know they think I'm crazy, but I do it every day, you know, but that's me. And that's what keeps that sacredness, what you're talking about. That's what keeps it, you know, I have to do it. You know, I'm just not right if I don't do it.
Just in your talk, we can all tell that is sacred work to you. It's very obvious. And if you're doing that, I can only imagine the day you don't, you're going to have a lot of people coming up to you. Like, Mr. Calloway, you okay? Mr. Calloway, you okay? We was looking at the cameras and we was waiting for your deuces this morning, but we didn't see you. You okay? I promise.
Happens every time. Anytime my mood is different, everybody notices. Everybody notices. So I got to keep the sacred work going 24/7.
But now, do that sacred work on your.
No, you got to do 6 days and then you got to rest.
Yes.
You can't do it 24/7. You got to do it 6, appreciate your 6, and then rest on your 7. And you don't rest in tired, like exhausted. You rest because you've done good deed. You've done well. And so now you get that one day for you. Because I feel you on that. I feed off of people. So I love people, but I live by myself. So I hate when I'm home because I'm always by myself. And then I don't have nobody to talk to. And it's like, and then you get caught in your own thoughts and all this other stuff. And you can just be like, but that mother trucker is doing it. You know is doing it. The young boy know he's doing it because he want to do it like you doing it at 60, because you see other people that they're dead. They haven't even lived yet and they're dead. They have no life. There is no light. You know what I mean? So you even like she just said, when you were talking, you make us all feel like we were right there with you. But even on this call, like I know like some days like when we have to keep the cameras on, okay, we have to keep the cameras on. But there's some days where I'm just like, I can't even do my smile the way that Deanna be the first person on my drawing, like, Miss Adrian, you okay? Miss Adrian, what's up? I'm like, damn, let me turn my camera on because she can see, like, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, but it's a genuine thing, because when you know certain things about certain people and certain what they do, you're expecting of them to do it because we do it. What's the other word? Not, I don't want to say sacred, but we do it like subconsciously. Like, so we don't even know that we're doing this thing, but that's because the practice of being so sacred in what we've done, you know, especially when it comes down to who you are. Like, cause you know, I tell you all the time, I don't live far close enough to Chicago to know you. But yeah, keep it going, mother trucker, because it's cute. Okay, you're doing it good. All right, you're doing it big. That's all I can say. Keep doing what you're doing, bro, because you're doing it big. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all family though. Can't keep sitting here listening to Mr. Calloway talk all that fly shit. Like, wait a minute, bro. We can do it together. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. God.
We love you, Miss Adrian. Let me tell you something. We know, and after I say this, Trinace, it's on you. We know Miss Adrian. Everything she does is sacred work. From the moment she got here, it's been sacred. And when I tell you, me and Grace, if Antonio say so, we be sitting here like, come on, Miss Adrian. Come on, Miss Adrian. Because we know she gonna speak up. And whatever flow out her mouth gonna make sense. She gonna say what she wanna say. And we gonna be sitting back laughing because sometimes she say stuff, we be like, man, I wanted to say that. I couldn't say that. Thank you, Miss Adrian. But no, but you can tell when she talks, she's passionate about it. You can tell what's sacred to someone by about what they do when they're expressing how they feel. Mr. Calloway, every time Mr. Calloway opened his mouth, he say something, we be sitting there like, we did not know that. And ain't no hint of it on your face in any shape, form, or fashion. Like, did he just say what? And he's still on here? Like, sir. But he is sacred to himself. So this is sacred work for him. Go ahead, Ms. Trinace.
So I've listened to everybody talking about sacred work for others, but there is an important part of sacred work for yourselves, and that's self-care.
Yes.
I get my nap. Y'all know I get my nap. That's important to me. I have gotten off by not eating like well. But that's a part of how can you expect to do sacred work to support other people when you can't invest in sacred work for yourself? That just doesn't make any sense. So you've given all of that, given all of your ooey gooey goodness for somebody else, and you can't spare none for you. Everybody talked about how they do things for other people, but never forget or neglect what you need to invest in yourself sacredly for you to be able to really go out with passion, purpose, and intention for those other things that are sacred to you. And that's all I have to say.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, because you actually helped me segue into sacred work for you. See, the book that Antonio gave us, The Sacred Work as Medicine, if you read through it, if you've done it, you would understand that he's purposely making you do sacred work on yourself. Day 5 is network and seek guidance. Seek out mentors and like-minded individuals who can offer support and guidance as you work towards your goal. That's sacred work on you. Because in order for you to do things, to go places, you can't do it alone. This world wasn't created for us to be alone. Your blessings come through people. Day 7 is celebrate your progress and accomplishments. We don't count our victories. But if we do sacred work for ourselves, counting those victories become extremely important. Mr. Calloway, count your victories daily. Miss Adrian, count your victories daily. Uncle Romy Rome, count your victories daily. Because it's a huge part of sacred work. You're doing the work. Every time we do work, when we do work, we be like, okay, so what's in it for me? Think about it. When you have to work on you, subconsciously, you be like, well, what's in it for me if I work on me? You know what? I'm not going to put that on y'all. I'll say, sometimes I wonder, when I be like, ooh, I'm going to do this. I be like, well, what's in it for me if I do it? And that's work on myself.
I don't think what's in it for me. Because I think for me, I understand what I do for me benefits others. Mm-hmm. If I get the appropriate amount of rest, then you won't experience the restless me. If I get the appropriate amount of study that I do, then you're going to get some extra insight, some extra information, something extra to think about. So I think that this is how I think. I didn't always think like this. There's a lot of me that is different but the same. My sister shared with me I think the other day on Instagram, this girl that was talking about she had gotten this snake. And she was talking about how much she loved this snake and everything. And she took it to the vet. And the vet said, this snake is how old? And the girl said, snake was 5 years old. Well, he should be bigger than this. And she was like, well, I was doing everything I could to take care of this snake. I nurtured it. He said, well, what size tank is he in? He's in a 20-gallon tank. Well, no, he should be in a 50-gallon tank. He should be in a 50-gallon tank to expand his environment. So when you consider, you don't change your environment, you don't expand your environment, you're not going to really grow to the understanding that you need to invest or sacred work, whatever label you want to put on it. I think when I released my first book is when I started changing and investing more in me, because it felt good to finally finish something, because that was always an issue for me. I started a lot of things and didn't finish. So to finish that, to publish it, for some people to buy the book, that expanded my horizon, because I got connected to people who were different from who I had been exposed to previously. So you always have to consider, you can't be swimming around in that same little bowl. If you want to expand, if you want to understand, if you want growth, if you want to really have an understanding of what's sacred work for yourself and how it helps the world, you can't really just, I guess, do nothing, because that is do nothing. Just look around in your four walls and whatever your little environment is, and never go anywhere, never do anything, because your environment is telling you don't do that because we scared, or maybe you don't even deserve some of this goodness that you want, or you're less than, you're not enough. All of those things that your environment puts in you fertilize it to grow.
No, that's good stuff. That's real good. You have to start with you. Everything flows from you. We've all heard this before. We've all heard that it all starts with you. But do you consider yourself worthy enough to put in that sacred work, to put in the work that becomes so special to you that you're willing to put your all into work into yourself? I mean, think about it.
Hold on.
Go
Right
ahead.
quick. Now, when you get to putting it in, as you just said, putting the work into yourself, changing the paradigm, changing, all of this. Let me tell you something. You've been working on certain habits for years. I've been working on certain habits for 60 damn years. You think that's easy to just break them habits? Hell no. Hell to the no. You don't just break those habits. Yes, when you get the thought, I'm going to work on myself. Well, you've been working on yourself unconsciously, for 50, 40, 60, whatever years you've been on this earth. When you go to change that, you tell yourself, you know what? I need to put in the work. I want to change. Your mind get to throwing up the kitchen sink, refrigerator. I mean, the spare tire, it throw everything at you because of the fact that it's your mind done got comfortable being who you have been for the past 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And now you're saying to your brain, hey, I need to make a change. It's not going to just let go and say, well, by all means, go ahead. No, it's going to put up obstacles. It's going to put up a fight. And then that's when you get that's when you have to put in the hard work and I really want to make this change. And that's an everyday piece of work, a chore. to set up like, hey, when something slip into your mind of, oh, and you're like, no, 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 I said I was going to do this, you know, and then, you know, something that comes up, oh, no, 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 I have to do this. No, I want to make this change. You know, it's like that battle with yourself. And that always comes in the beginning. It always comes in the beginning. Just like I got through fasting for Ramadan, and I made it through the entire Ramadan without slipping or messing up. And the whole time I was going through Ramadan, I want to make sure I get through it without slipping up or messing up. And I did it. I didn't let anything outside of me being loyal, you know, to Allah, you know, to God, stop me from getting through Ramadan. I did everything right. And believe it or not, after I did that, it did something else. It made me think that I can win the battle with the mind. you can't you can't say, hey, you the master anymore, because I just mastered you. So it lets me know that, hey, the changes now that I want to make in my life, I know that I can do. The struggle is not as tough as it was before, because I'm like, hey, I know that I can overcome it. Is it still going to give you a challenge? Yes. And any one of us, there's not one of us on this call or anywhere that can get up and say, hey, you know, that's why they say we need therapists and things to help us alone and all that kind of stuff. That's why so much mental health, because folks don't know how to win the battle over the mind. As the saying said, of all things, control thy mind, not let thy mind control what? You. You know, so doing the work, yeah, we could do the work. Is it going to be a challenge? You bet damn right it's going to be a challenge. It's never going to be easy. It's not going to be easy until we leave this damn planet. Just like life ain't easy. Ain't nothing easy about life. As soon as we realize that life is not easy, that's when we'll start understanding it better. Because the challenges that we go through in life are going to be there. Life is not like, it's the only thing. It's not like school where you take the lessons and then you take the test. Life always gives you the test first, then you learn the lessons. That is what challenge is all about. You know, when you go to changing your mind, changing who you are as a person, changing the paradigm, I can't think of his name right now, you know, but changing that paradigm, that's what that's all about. That's what that's all about. It's go take work, but you can do it. You know, the sacred work. You know, you think all the scholars, you think Apostle Paul, you think Moses and all that, every prophet, every person that God chose to go out and carry his word out, they were not no saints in the beginning. They were not. Do you not think they had to change a lot in order to become what God needed them to be in order to carry on his work? That's a lot. And we're no different. So that's the sacred work, you know, like I said, the sacred work isn't kind of easy. You know, you have to really want that sacred work. You really have to want that change, that desire to change. You have to really want it. Yes, take little breaks here and there because it can become overwhelming. That's why so many people out here doing all kind of crazy stuff, snorting and smoking and drinking and this, because they're having a hard time handling that. But you can do it. You just have to be willing to put in the sacred work or the work, whatever you want to call it, as Ms. Trey say, whatever title you want to put on it, you can. But most of all, you got to do the first the sacred work of being in control of the mind, not it being in control of you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Trinace. Thank you, Mr. Calloway. So starting tonight, what are things that you can do to make the work you do on yourself sacred?
Being intentional. Because I mean, you can half-ass anything and say you working, but you know, I mean, I do that all the time at work. I half-ass this stuff. It get done, right? So who does it matter that I folded the paper wrong after I printed it out and put it in the envelope? Does it really matter? That's half-assed. Fake worker. Yep, that's me some days. Yes, it is. And then I'll put in the group chat. Let's have some love and light today.
We love you, Trinae. So
Let's have no stress, no strain, no struggle today. Then I do my little sneak prayer. I just do all kinds of little things. That's right. That's right. The line be long as I don't know. When I get there at 7:30, the line almost at the end of the building. But when the people come to my window, they say, "Ooh, you really calling these numbers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am. But I don't have no time for no pleasantries. Give me your stuff so we can get out of here." So you can have when you got to have intention when you whatever it is that you're gonna do. You have to be intentional. Be mindful of what you're doing. Yep, be consistent. Ooh, I can't see, my glasses are in my purse. Be mindful, be consistent, be intentional, all of those things, but that requires focus. Be focused on it, be dedicated, be purposeful. And if you can't, to me, I'm becoming less and less like that. So I lean to my other things that I am good at while I'm in a space that I don't enjoy. So I enjoy taking care of my team. In the morning, I get there early enough. I make a coffee, make sure we got water. The water is filtered, make sure that's straight, make sure we got ice, make sure everything is good. And that makes me happy. Now, I don't know how long I'm gonna be happy during the day, but I go back at 9:30, my next break, and make sure everything is filled and I'm happy again. And I type something positive, and I'm intentional with that to keep me on purpose. And apparently that keep everybody else, because they message back and laugh and talk throughout the day and say, "Oh, Trinae, that was so funny what you said." Yeah, I was serious when I posted in there, Holy Spirit activate, because man, that was a rough day. So we gotta, if your intention is to be purposeful and do sacred work, not just doing things just because you can do things, but to determine that you are gonna be doing sacred work for yourself first, because that's important, for it to overflow to others. You have to be focused on those things that matter. And it's you first, because if you're on a plane, they tell you to put the air on you first and then help the next person. So it starts with you and goes to everybody else. They receive the overflow of your investment.
Right. I thank you for that, because Kim said be consistent. So if I'm listening correctly, my intentions, where I put my focus, and my consistency, if I put that on me, then that makes me sacred to myself. So how many of y'all intentionally take care of yourself? I saw 2 hands.
Yeah, because you got to get your break. We were in the meeting. They say that I don't ever get my break. I don't ever get my break. I said, what? My break. This is Texas Department of Motor Vehicle, not Trinace's Department of Motor Vehicle. I'm going to get my break. And I'm going to take my lunch. And I'm going to go in there and use a foot massager, and I'm going to go to sleep too. You all need to learn how to take care of yourself. This ain't my building. When I leave, whether I die, whether I become a millionaire or whatever, nobody's going to be sitting at seat 13. I'm not going to be sitting there. Somebody else will be, and I will be long forgotten. And we all have to understand we're going to be forgotten. But based on what we do, I got my event space because I was nice to somebody at the DMV. I was nice to her, and she remembered I remembered her, but I didn't remember what I did for her. She gave me a whole space from 7:30 to 2 o'clock, the whole space, chairs and table for $400. So I got the whole day for $400. Just because what she felt like I did. And I was like, I was just being myself. You needed help, I helped you. And I take no thought to that being sacred. I just took thought to, I can help her. It didn't hurt me to help her. So maybe that was sacred because it was memorable to her.
But could it also be true that because of the sacred work you put into yourself, that overflow poured out to her, therefore she felt how you felt about yourself, and it was memorable for her so much to her, where you changed her life that day. In return, she came back to bless you with something that she had available for you.
And it was more than a year. I remember she had an event space and I called her. I was like, hey, I need a space. Oh, I remember you. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, it could definitely could be that. It could be, maybe that was a seed that I planted in being nice to her. Maybe that's a seed I plant every time when I let somebody come back to the window when the clerk next to me say, no, you got to take another ticket. So, I mean, I don't enjoy work, but since I'm gonna be there, I may as well make it fruitful for other people for me to be in the space. If I can help you, I can. If I can't, then I can figure out who I know who can help. And that's
So you're human after all. I knew it.
I am. I am. But I still talk shit, so.
Antonio, it's biblical, and Antonio tells us all the time, when you fill your cup and you're overflowing, those around you get the overflow. Well, when you consider the work you do on yourself sacred, you're filling your cup. And those around you get the overflow. Have you ever noticed how when you're full, you treat the people around you a lot more better? That's probably the improper grammar, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Have y'all ever noticed that? I notice when I'm full, like when I'm like overflowing, I am like the happiest person, and everybody around me, I'm like, oh no, I got you. Let me love on you a little extra, because I'm intentional, because I'm full. But that's because I did work. But is my work sacred if I'm not consistent in it?
Watch yourself.
Yeah, it is, because you got to start from someplace. You don't just start off being consistent on day one. Like, it's like a diet. Everybody thinks they're gonna go on this great magical diet and they're gonna lose 50 pounds and they're gonna just do it perfect from bell to bell. It's not that. It's just that, you know, even like going to work out, same thing. It's like someday you're gonna be too tired to prep that meal for 6 days. Someday you're gonna be too tired to do the extra set. Someday you're gonna go in the gym, look around and say, not today, and walk out. And that's probably the best thing you should be doing, because you might get in there and get yourself hurt. So, you know, maybe that day ain't your day, you know what I mean? But I think that part of it is like it's intertwined, like, you know, that job or whatever you've chosen is for, you know, is your sacred, you know, work. It should also match, you know, and sacred work on the inside, because you're going to use that job or whatever that thing as your sacred work for yourself as well at the same time. So, like, you know, some people are great teachers, and that's one thing, but maybe the setting is bad. So, you know what I mean, while they're doing performing that sacred work, like, you know, like Tracy's doing God's work. The Lord knows they wouldn't let me go on the Schlitterbahn. They X'd me off of that ASAP. They knew. They was like, nah, you ain't going, son. you stay back and watch them kids and they had $25 to go to this. You know, I was with those kids, you know what I'm saying? They knew they're not even gonna send me. That was a wrap. So, you know, but you know, she has a different temperament with those kids. So, you know, I mean, it was sacred work for her. She got a chance to, you know, really bask in the fact that she's got a job that allows her to go to Schlitterbahn, for Pete's sakes. And then the other part of it is she likes what she does. So, you know, at the same time, you know, you're getting the self, you know what I mean, work. And at the same time, you're also doing the other work as well, you know what I mean? And ensuring those kids have a great time. And when they think back, you know, they'll have those fond memories of those things, you know?
So what if the work that is sacred work, we've been doing it all along and we didn't realize that that's what it was?
Because I swear I've been in your DMV before. I'm telling you, I've been in that joint before. You know what I mean? That's why I mean, you saying this stuff, I'm having memories. I don't know which cube is yours, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean?
I'm at
like,
window 13 now. I was at window
okay.
6 before. I was at another window before.
You was at that one right when you walk in the door at one time, I believe. Yeah. Were you at that one? That wasn't you? Okay. Never mind.
No.
Take it back.
So no. I know that I'm doing a good thing when the businesses that come in there, they say, you know what, you don't even make us feel bad when you reject our work. We are always really happy and don't feel so bad when you reject them. But these other ones in here, they make us feel so bad. I was like, it's just a rejection. I could just tell you how, you at least will tell us how to fix it. They just shoved the rejection paper out the window and that's it. I was like, it don't hurt to help somebody.
Well,
it don't
that's
hurt
you. Well, that's if you like it, because you know, what I mean, the other part I was going to mention was the day that you have to take a substance before, during, or after work to continue to do that job. So probably the day you start weaning yourself out of that gig. And I've been there. And I know some other folk on this call have been here too. You know what I'm saying? Where you like, I got to take something before work, get right. You know, or you know, after work, or sometime at lunch, or sometime all three. I don't depend on what the job you have. You know what I mean? It would depend on what it is that you're doing for a living. But if that's the case, at any time, you know, you're actually having to change your state or alter yourself to perform that job, then maybe that's not the gig for you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you know that.
So I don't do that, but I did realize that I'm a caretaker, and they realize that I'm a caretaker too. So they'll message Trinae, you made the coffee today. Oh, it was so delicious. I like when you make coffee. So that's been the trade-off.
And that feels good. And that feels good. Yeah. It's a good way to start the day. You know, you get that aroma come. They know that's where it's coming from. And they swing by and, you know, give you a little wink. Hey, all right, you got the coffee going. All right. That feels something, you know.
We got a new office manager a couple of months ago, and he was like, Trinae, did you make the coffee? I say, I did earlier. He said, no, the second coffee. I was like, I didn't make it. He said, Roger made it. It was delicious. I said, what? Thought you said you love my coffee. Trinae, I do love your coffee. I said, no. You say Roger made coffee better than mine. And then I looked sad. He was like, no, Trinae, I love your coffee. I love your coffee. Keep making the coffee.
So Trinae, I got a question. Did you start making the coffee because you like to make the coffee, or did you start making the coffee because don't nobody else in the bitch know how to make coffee but you, and you like to drink coffee?
So I'm not a coffee drinker.
Oh, okay. So that's okay.
I'm not even a coffee drinker.
Shut up, Deanna. I just wanted to know, because you know, shit, I make good coffee, but that's because I want to drink good coffee.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, but now since I make it, I feel like I have to sample it because I've made it. Because when you cook, you sample your food. So if I make coffee, I sample the coffee.
Well, it could be like me. It's a labor of love. If I'm like me, it's a labor of love. As D, I make that black crack every time they come over there, and I pour that thing up, and it is what it is.
I make the best coffee in the city of Philadelphia.
Jamal be on it. Jamal be on it.
I will have to see you and raise you. I have to fly up there and see, because I make it the best this side of the Mississippi River. I swear to God. You know what I'm saying?
No, Steve don't say nothing about nobody else make better coffee than Trinae's, because you better not. Because I put that sad face on and I'm sorry, Trinae, she make the best coffee.
Oh, look. I'm coming to Texas. I'm getting some coffee.
Come on. And then we need to fly out there to you so we can fly to Philly, you know, so we can get some coffee from Miss Adrian.
Well, see, you have to understand that. Okay, so like John was saying, like Trinae was saying, there was a time in my life where I did everything just ragged. Okay. And then I got sick. And when I got sick, I lost everything. I lost my ability to move my arm. Like at first it was my right side. Then it came down that I could move my right side a little bit. It was a little bit slow, but then I couldn't move my legs. So I couldn't walk. So it was like a whole lot of things that I had to learn how to do. But the first thing I had to do was learn how to just be real with me. The second thing that I needed to do was to go back outside. And I got a job. They asked me to come and make coffee from 6 in the morning to 8 in the morning for 2 hours. When I tell you, I took so much pride in doing it because it was like the coming back of doing something, anything. I took so much pride in making that coffee that it did become sacred because people used to come, like people still come to me now in church, like, you that girl from the Sunoco that used to brighten up our morning. And I'm like, amen. But but it started from the coffee, from making the coffee. And then people would be like, well, the way you make my coffee. And then I would just stand over there and make everybody's coffee. But I would taste it, like Trey said. You can't give nobody coffee without tasting it. So I used to be like, I had to do the straw thing and put my hand on the straw so it could come up in the straw. And oh, this is a good morning, right? But it's like, you do take pride in those things and it does become sacred to you. I really, truly, but I can honestly say that there was a moment in my life where I didn't do anything sacred. I didn't think so. I was just doing it. I had a whole bunch of friends. We used to make a whole lot of money. We used to go anywhere and everywhere. And I don't think anything was sacred in it. I don't. And it was like, when I lost all of my limbs and God literally just was like, okay, figure it out. I made you for greatness and you done gave me shit. I ain't kill you. So now what the hell you gonna do? Since then, I've been on a whole nother type time. Like, okay, you right, God. And do you know him? Do you know him? Let me tell you about him. Let me tell you about this man I know. Do you know him? Just from anywhere. Because I realized, like John said, good question. If you were to die today, when I ask people that, they look at me like, don't start the shit. I just want to know, because I want to know where everyone is, because I do funerals. So I don't like to come to funerals and see people crying and shit, like all dumb, like, you stupid. Like, what's going on? Did you just do this? Like, y'all had so much fun in life. You never talked about this moment. And now it's like not funny. Now it's not, it's just sad. Now you're crying. You want to fall in the casket and all this other stuff. Is like, stop. Stop. What we do, like Trey said. Now, one thing I do, I'm a smoker. So I know that the smoking is probably not the best thing for my, the whole thing, but that's just my thing. So it's my thing.
I mean, it depends on, but that's a conversation for another day.
Honest, and you always make me feel good about smoking. That's why I love you. That's why I always love you. I'm like, she makes me feel so good about smoking. Even singing solos now, I just sing them low just because y'all said somebody like my raspy. And I'm gonna sing. I don't sing shit no more. Just because Deanna, she said, well, Miss Adrian, somebody really needs to hear it in that raspy, smoky tone.
Yes.
Right, baby. And ever since then, I've been singing. But it's a sacredity in everything that we do. That is why people show up. That's why people show up in Windows 13. Because they know, even if you don't want to be there, after you've taken your nap and done everything else, no matter what, if I have a problem, I know I can come to you for help.
Yeah, they be running from the front of the wheel to the front of the wheel. Why you gotta come all the way back here? I'm all the way in the back. It was 100 windows you passed, 100 windows.
But you the one that's gonna help them though. See, that's the difference.
That's
And then
right.
a lot of people don't know how to get the right help, because some people be raggedy as all hell, and they need you to come with the strongness to let you know, don't really play with me. I'm gonna give you this fucking answer, and you're gonna keep walking, because you're not gonna stay here all day. And then they can feel you. Then they can feel you and be like, let me do this. Like, I mean, it's the DMV. Think about it. I mean, I know our DMVs are crazy up here. So I could only imagine it's like every DMV.
Well, I'm just saying, some of my coworkers, not the most pleasant people. I listen to them all day talking about, you missed your number, go pull another one. I'll be like,
See,
that's not right. That right there is not right. And because I am on the I can't correct you journey, I just have to sit there and suffer.
bless you.
She said,
Bless
I'm
you
on the
that
I
journey.
can't correct you journey. I love that.
Bless you. I have failed every time I got on that journey. Bless you. Every time.
But I'm taking it very seriously, because my personality, I like to be right, because it makes me feel good to be right, because that was a part of I traced it back to me being bullied when I was younger, but I was always smarter than you bullies. So you can bully all you want to, but I'm in 5th grade and I got past high school level. Dummy, keep bullying me. I'm still smarter than you. So that's the correction part. That's where that comes from. I understand it, but that sometimes that still don't stop me, because I'm still gonna show you.
You done. Tears go to graph. You done. No, I love it. I thank all of y'all. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's something you asked Trinace. You was like, have we been secretly, doing sacred work all this time and just didn't realize it? I think every time we have a passionate drive about a person or a project or something that we know brings life to me, every time I touch this is special to me. This is sacred to me. This right here, I'm going to put my all into it. I think anything that we do with those intentions, as Trinae said, makes it sacred to us.
So my mother and daughter event, that's a sacred thing. I know I have not sold nothing but 5 tickets. I got 95 tickets to go, but it's going to be sold out. It needs to be sold out fast, because I don't want to be coming out of my pocket for all of these nice gift bags and stuff that I'm going to be doing, but I know it's going to sell out. I know it. I got 95 seats to go. But that's important to build, for me, for mothers and daughters to have a better relationship. It's important for us to have good conversations and not be afraid of what she's going to say, or what mama's going to say, or what my daughter's going to think. Or that's important, because if we can't communicate with our daughters, how can we help them be better women? If we can't get information as adult women, how can we be like Titus 2 says about the elder women teaching the younger women how to be women? That makes no sense to me. None. So I know that that's sacred word for me.
All night, everybody in some shape, form, or fashion has talked about what sacred work is. And every last one of you have mentioned the same things, just in different ways. Intentions, all of you, brings you joy, makes you happy. No matter what, this is what I do. I walk out my house and it's showtime. It's something I have to do. Ancestral cultures, they treated their work with a lot of respect and considered it sacred, which was really important and meaningful. So if it's important and it's meaningful to you, it's sacred. If you are important and meaningful to you, you're sacred to you. If your significant other is important and meaningful to you, it's sacred to you. Your children. Now, mind you, not everybody think their children are sacred to them. Either they're not meant to be parents, they're unexpected parents, ain't got no clue what to do, or they just got to the point where it's like, you know what, go about your business. I'm done with you. I can't do this anymore. But at the same time, if we're not sacred to ourselves, the people we surround ourselves with aren't sacred to us either.
Say that again.
If we're not sacred to ourselves, the people we have around us aren't sacred to us either. Because how we treat ourselves, we actually treat other people that same way. If you don't love yourself, that is a reflection onto somebody else. You're going to reflect that on somebody else. So you have to love yourselves. Be intentional. I love that word, Trinace. I don't know why that word is just ringing loudly in my ear when it comes to sacred work. Intentional. Be intentional about how you care for yourself. Be intentional about the work you do on yourself. Be intentional about everything you do. If you're, and Tony always, he's telling me and Grace all the time, check your motives. What are your motives when you're doing this work? And from what I heard from everyone who said something, your motives had absolutely nothing to do with you. You were intentionally working to bring joy to others, which automatically brought joy to you. And that's what sacred work is about. Sacred work as medicine. Mr. Calloway said, you know, once he out the door, it's showtime. And he feels good when he does it. It's sacred work to him. It's medicine for him. Trinace could give 2 flying flips about the Department of Transportation, the Department of Motor Vehicles. But I don't know if y'all heard her. She said, but I want to make sure my team is okay. So I make the coffee. I make sure the water is, the filter's been changed and the water's been changed out. I make sure this, I make sure that. That DMV could burn up tomorrow. But those people, she gonna make sure they got their coffee. And then Miss Adrian said something, she said something that brought out gratitude. When she got her first job, they wanted her to come, when she got her first job after everything had happened, they just wanted her to come in for 2 hours to make coffee. Her gratitude for the opportunity for those 2 hours became her sacred work. She made sure she made the best damn coffee for every single person that flowed through there. Because it was sacred to her, because she was grateful. So sacred work doesn't really have a definition. It's how you, it's based on your inner thermometer. If I'm saying this correctly, Mr. Phil, your inner thermometer, your feelings. If it makes you feel amazing and good, you're going to put more into it because you're grateful for that feeling and you want that feeling to stay. So that becomes sacred to you. if you're in a relationship, I love hearing from Antonio, baby, I'm proud of you. I love hearing from Antonio, you did good. So anytime I get on one of these calls, it's sacred work to me. Because when he says that to me, it makes me feel good, because it makes me feel like, okay, I did right. Because do y'all know how it feels to come behind Antonio? I mean, like I said, Pathfinder, I'm not going to tell y'all the nervousness that was in the pit of my stomach, because I am a daggone student, okay? Look. But it's sacred work to me to know that I did him well. So I put forth my intentions to make sure that when he goes and he watches the playback, he's like, oh, okay, you did good.
I gotta say something.
Go ahead,
I
Mr.
gotta say
Calloway.
something. Look here, girl, you do a mighty fine damn job. Don't you ever forget that. Because I'm gonna tell you, when Antonio on this damn raggedy box thing and Zoom call, you want to call it, when he on here, sometimes you scared to get on there because, you know, Antonio got that damn serious look and stuff, you know, like I'm the captain of the damn show here, you know. But with you, I can tell you one thing, it's a more relaxed feeling. There's a different energy when you do it. But Antonio, you kind of like, I'm kind of afraid, you know, to jump on there, you know, that ninja look like he want to jump through the damn Zoom thing camera here, you know. So, you know, it's a different energy, a different feel. But you do an excellent job. Even, you know, what was that other thing with the young lady kept making up all them damn excuses for that crazy boyfriend or something? You know, her back then, you know, when
I know who you're
you
talking about.
trading, me, you trading. I can't remember all that. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about. Me, you trading Ace and,
She did have the
Romy wrong.
baby. She did
Oh,
have the
okay.
baby.
Yeah, well, you know, I ain't gonna even ask about that. I ain't gonna even ask it, but
Well,
but
I'm
you know,
curious, is she okay? Is the baby okay? What she have?
You know what? I need to text her, because when I was originally texting her, she's tired, of course, with a newborn and kids. She's tired, but she said they're doing good. They're doing good. I need to. I don't know
that's
what
good to
she
hear.
had. I need to ask, but they're doing good.
That's good to hear. But back to you, you do a mighty fine job. It really is a different energy. Um, no disrespect to Antonio, it's a fun energy. It's you know, you got that smile, that laugh of yours is something, you know, it's infectious, you know, and if you feel more relaxed. I'm gonna just be honest, you know, you feel more relaxed. You feel like, okay, I want to jump in and talk with Deanna, and Deanna, you know, go let you jump on in and talk. But it's got a different vibe, a cool vibe, you know, to when
Well,
you're doing, not
John
taking away,
Calloway, he's
not
not
taking
sitting
away
so
from.
straight.
Yeah.
John Calloway not sitting so straight up that Antonio ain't on. He can relax.
Yeah, you know, shoot, because Deanna on here, yeah, you know, so yeah, I caramba, dale, you know, you're doing such a mighty fine job. What Billy Crystal said, you're doing just marvelous. Yes, he used to say, you know. So that's all I gotta say about that. No disrespect to Mr. Antonio, your significant other and everything, but it is a different vibe and feeling, and you do a mighty fine job. As Andy Griffin said, you do a mighty fine job.
Thank
Don't
you.
forget
Thank
it.
you. Antonio said he agrees with you. He's sitting next to me listening.
Oh Lord, see there, I done put my steel toe in my mouth.
No,
Doggone it.
he
Please
said
don't
he
hate me,
agreed with
Antonio.
you. He agreed. He said he finds it just fine. He agrees. And you want to know something, Mr.
Excuse me,
Calloway?
Deanna. Excuse me, Deanna.
Yes, sir.
Tell him to get back to work. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on 1 second. Okay. So, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it's like that. He said he working, Uncle Romaron. He said he working. That's why he's not on the call, but he's listening. But it's sacred work. See, and Antonio considers me sacred work.
Because we part of his sacred work.
Come on, Miss. Hey, you go. The comfort and the relaxed state that you see me in is because he has been working on me for years to just be me. Because see, I was the one who grew up shutting my kid down because I was supposed to grow up. You know, I was the oldest, so I had more responsibility. I was the oldest girl, so I had to be more nurturing. We lost my mom's mom when I was like young, so I had to be strong for my mom. You know, she worked, and sometimes me and my brother got home before she did. I was the big sister, so made sure food was ready. Like I shut my kid off because my kid always got hurt. So Antonio kept saying, just be yourself, just be yourself. And by this time, I don't know who myself is. Am I the kid? Am I the teenager? Or am I the adult? Because I'm still stuck in all three areas. He just kept telling me, just be yourself. And one time I told him, I said, I don't know who that is. He said, well, you're actually in a wonderful position. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know who I am. I got a kid. I'm confused as hell. I don't know who I am. I'm in my mid-30s. What the hell are you talking about? That's okay. He said, because you have the opportunity to create who you want to be. And I decided to create somebody who is comfortable with creating words in the middle of a keynote that nobody's ever heard of before. You know, like this morning I said something, I don't even remember what the word was. I just know it just came out that way. It made sense to me. Earlier today, I was talking to Antonio. He was like, we were talking about tonight, and he was like, sacristy is really not a word. He said, but it worked. He said, I looked it up. He said, but it works. Me being so relaxed right now is because I'm finally okay with being my authentic self. And that's because Antonio made me his sacred work. And he's still working. Just trust me. Like Mr. John Calloway said, man, that's like 30 some odd years of the same stuff over and over and over again. It's taking a minute. I've been hearing that word on a YouTube minute. Sacristy. Hey, it's trending. It's getting out. All right. But it's like, it's 30 some odd years of solidifying every belief I ever had in myself. And then attracting people to me that help me solidify every belief in myself. And then blocking out all of the positivity because I'm so absorbed in the solidification of everything I ever believed about myself. I think I was talking to Grace one day, and I told her a lot of the stuff that I missed because of my perception of a certain relationship I had. Because over the years, the negativity was solidified in me. Antonio had to work through all that and still got to cut some layers away. But I just got okay with not being perfect. That was the sacred work I had to do. I had to be okay with not being the perfect child. I had to be okay with not being the perfect person. I had to be okay with not pronunciating everything perfectly. I had to be okay with not remembering certain things. I had to be okay with having brain farts in the middle of a Zoom call, which actually happened this morning. I said 1 divided by 1 equals 0, and I was confident about it. You couldn't tell me I was wrong. And laugh about it. I had to be comfortable with laughing at myself. And all of that was because Antonio made me his sacred work. He used to tell me all the time, believe in my faith in you until you can believe in yourself. Let me rephrase that. Believe in my belief in you until you believe in yourself. Because I was lost. Your sacred work opens up life for somebody else. When you do sacred work, you're understanding, like Mr. Phil said earlier, everything is connected. We are all one. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. If I'm kind to you, if the sacred work that I put into you uplifts you, guess what's going to happen to me? The work Miss Adrienne does when she goes to these funerals, she don't do that for herself. But in return, it gives her joy because she's bringing joy to others. I love y'all. I don't know where that came from. I just felt like saying it.
We love you too. It's okay. We love you too. We love you, Sugar. Too. Go ahead and let it out. Go let it out.
We're not having an Oprah moment tonight, okay?
We've been listening to you.
You are not gonna make me cry, Deanna.
We ain't doing this mushy stuff. I got a reputation to uphold.
Come
We ain't doing
on,
no
right?
mushy stuff.
Right, Mr. Calloway, we ain't doing that mushy stuff.
No, and there is nothing in my eye.
I'm not about to do the nasty. No, but seriously,
that was good and sincere
I'm not a girly
say
man.
nothing else behind it.
I don't want to show emotion. I'm not a girly man.
But no, I really do. I love y'all. And for some reason, I feel the importance of sacred work as medicine because I understand I don't know. I guess I just all of a sudden subconsciously connected all the dots going backwards. It just hit me at once. And I was like, I love y'all because I understand what you're going through. We're all in different places, but we're all on the same journey. And when we really just let the shit go and do the sacred work and love us just as much as we love others, because we love a lot of people more than we love ourselves. We put in sacred work on people, places, and things, and we're like, but I don't understand. That's because you didn't do it to yourself first. You didn't love you enough to have the strength to get through whatever it is you're going through. So I don't know, it just hit me. So I just had to tell y'all I love y'all. Like I really do. I see y'all more than I see my family. Like y'all have become my family. When a square does not show up too many times, you gonna get a text message.
Okay, because I was wondering where Miss Sandra was. Okay, then she came on.
You gonna
Like
get
I got a text message on Wednesday because I wasn't in class.
you gonna get a text message, let me tell you.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute. I was a little late coming on, but Melissa, I ain't see you. We on. I told her. She said, no, I can't come on this time. Oh, okay.
Melissa,
that's why I be saying I want to meet y'all in person. Why the hell y'all think I be saying that? I'm coming down to the damn Texas, man, because I want to see Antonio. I'm tired of looking at you on this damn little box here. You know, I want to see you in person. I'm tired of looking at y'all at the theater and all this kind of stuff. I want to meet Deanna, Antonio, Miss Grace, whatever the hell all y'all at down there in bumfuck Egypt, Texas. I want to see you.
All right, Mr. Phil. We love you. Good night.
I want to see you.
I guess I'm not loved. Oh, wait a minute. Who just said that? Where you at?
Yo, stop playing, hey.
Don't make us fall.
I never get a call.
Don't
you know what? Hey, hold on. You should.
Get a
I
call.
got you. I got you.
called you?
Grace, Grace.
Ma'am,
Grace, you the
Ma'am.
only one I get a call and a text from. Only one.
I got you. You ain't gonna ever have to say that again, Ayo. I got you. Show up. Don't show up one too many times. See what happens.
And Ayo, you need to call me back.
I
sis.
got you. And we do have
Yeah, right. You never called me.
we got a formal
I
conversation.
didn't send messages for what Renee. She never called me back.
Yes, I did.
Never.
Yes, I did.
No, we got you, Ayo. We got you. You ain't gonna have to worry about it no more. You got to just say something once to us.
Okay.
We got you. We got you. So
Okay.
don't show
I
up.
got
Don't show up too many times. I would be like, hey, where you at? You good? You all right? You need us to roll through? Because I know you down here in Houston, right? You in Houston, right?
No,
Oh, okay. It's okay.
I'm in Indiana.
Oh, me and Grace like road trips.
Indiana.
Me and Grace like road trips.
Yeah.
But no, I got you, Ayo. I got you.
Okay.
You ain't gonna have to say that. Just tell me once. I got you. No more. Next time I'll be like, hey, where you at? You good? You safe? You all right? You need us to roll out? You know, we can get a car with no plates. We can make it. We do road trips. Let me stop before I get in trouble.
Please. Sure. We can get a call, no place. Wait a minute, Mel.
I'm gonna text Grace. We need to roll out to AL. She gonna be like, all right, fool, I'm ready.
Come get her, Adonia.
I'm always ready.
No.
I might have to get involved in that one, Grace. I just might.
Oh man, I love it. No, I really do love y'all. Like, I have experienced so much with all of you being in my authentic self. There are people in my family that don't see me cry. And y'all have seen me, in my opinion, y'all have seen me cry too much, okay? Too much. But, but I love y'all. And I understand this journey. I've been on this journey with Antonio actually since day one. My son was like 6 months old. And that's when Antonio started coaching me and teaching me and helping me bend my path, and I didn't realize it. But I had to go through some things. I had to let go of some shit, because that's exactly what it was. And the sacred work, like he never referred to it as sacred work before. But you know it when every time you do it, you have this burst of energy you never had before. And there's a certain feeling you get, there's a lightness that you have, and it's something you're intentional and passionate about. And you know you were meant to do it. But we also have to understand that we are also meant to be here. We are meant to be who we are. We weren't taught how to care for ourselves, how to make ourselves sacred. So we had to learn that. And then once learned, we had to unlearn a whole lot of stuff. And then once we unlearned that stuff, then we had to go through the process of forgiving ourselves for the stuff we did while we were broken. And self-forgiveness is the hardest damn thing in the world. You would think it would be easy, but no. Only to realize that we've been doing sacred work on ourselves this whole time. So I love y'all, and I am grateful that I'm on this journey with you group of people, because there's no judgment. There's no pointing of fingers. There's no whispers behind the back. There's no rumors floating around. There is in your face, I love you. What do you need? Let's do this together, because what we're not going to do is leave each other left alone. We've been alone before. We're not alone anymore, and we're going to do this together. So
That
let's,
being said, can I hold $5 to next week?
you know what? Let me see what I got.
I said, oh, let me get this, get it while
Love
get this
it.
good.
I love it. Let me see what I got. I got you, food. I love it. But I thank y'all. Let's go bend these freaking paths and let's go change this damn world. Because Lord knows, for some reason, he put us together to do it. And only he know why. From the most quiet of the quiet of us to the most outspoken of the outspoken of us, we all here for a reason. Thank you, Uncle Romeo. Yay. Now let's turn up. I'm ready to make a trip to PA, Texas. Man, come on, let's turn up. Let's go get a party bus and travel. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Do it. ATS road trip.
Get a tour bus, put some beds up on it. We can do this. We got this.
Man, that would be some what? I'm just saying.
We're gonna turn up for what?
Man, we gonna get put out some places. Kindly, but they're gonna be like, you know what? We love y'all. Your energy is amazing, but you can't come in no more.
and then they'll look at you and say, "Oh, why not? Come on back in."
If we did it, we would change the world. What we do, people think that they don't do. We are the example of what people should do and need to do, and they say that it does not happen, and it happens very genuinely. And if they get in the group with us, it just happens, because it ain't none of us, but it is the spirit of God. Allah.
So when it happens,
whatever, anything you want to call it, it's that. And if you said that I am, it's all of that. If we did it, I mean, I come to everybody's state, we can do it. We can rock it off. Let's do it. ATS tours. What's up?
Y'all,
where he
y'all want to know why?
Shit, he worked. Look, dang. Dang, man, Antonio.
We are the Assembly of Wanderers.
Basically.
Each and every one of us, in some shape, form, or fashion, are the outcast, the black sheep, the one they said trying to find themselves.
That's right.
No, we found ourselves. You're just misunderstanding what we found. But we are the Assembly of Wanderers. We are the Pathbenders, and we can do it. And we will. One step at a time, one day at a time. We got this. Turn up for what? Because we AOW, fools. Sorry, I can't help it.
Pinky.
Yes, sir.
You're telling the truth, because the church will have you so shifted. The LC, the little church, will have you so shifted, and that, you know, you have to do it this way, and that's the only way, and that's a lie from the pit. And if there was a hell, there's a pit from the hell.
Come on, Prophet. But I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for allowing me to be your moderator for tonight's Pathbender. I thank each and every one of you. You can plant better. You can dominate. I love all of y'all. Ayo. I think I'm saying it wrong, but every time I see your name, it's like, Ayo.
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 Yeah, it's Ayo. But you
Ayo.
did a wonderful job. It was great. And thank you. And I love you too.
Yes, ma'am. It's good to see you. It is good to see you. you pop on here and there. It's good to see you. Please be safe in your travels because I do see you.
Yeah, I do. I've been going to school. Yeah, I've been going to school and I just started a job too. So between the both of them, I've been real busy.
Well, we got you. So when you don't pop up on this screen, I'll be like, hey, you need help? Something you need us to help you study on? Like what you need? We got you. Because trust me, it's
now I'm going to go on this journey for myself.
all right.
I need it.
All right.
I
but
mean,
just,
I really, and I'm ready. I'm at the point I'm ready now.
all right. Well, just know you have scholars.
I put on my big girl panties now.
Well, just know you have
I'm ready.
scholars.
Right.
Yeah, you have scholars, you have professors, you have people with multiple degrees here. So if you have a question, one of our biggest rules is no one suffers alone. So if you have a question, we got you. If you got a math question, you got Law, Antonio, and Grace. Don't ask me, Aya, because it's not my ministry. I'll tell you the wrong thing. This morning, 1 divided by 1 was can't help you with the math.
I do math too, Deanna, all the way up to
You
trigonometry.
sure do. And Melissa. Oh, and Tracy. So we got math, we got degrees, we got professors, we got all of them on here. So we got you, whatever you need.
I
And
ain't
if
got
you
none
need
of
English, I
them
have
D's,
a daughter
M's, D's,
downstairs.
none of that. But I got an ear and a shoulder.
There you go.
Thank you.
Good night, Trinace. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us. You can plant better. You can dominate. Good night, everyone. Love you.
Love you
Love you
more.
more.
Good night.
Love you more.
Good
Love
night,
y'all.
See you guys in the morning.